Welcome back, everyone. It is Sunday evening. We are live. I'm just checking. Howard, Danny, I've had such a crazy weekend. I've had to check the day. It's a lovely Sunday evening. Good evening to Danny in Spain. Good evening to the one and only Howard Cox. And well, we got Cinderella supposed to be at the ball, but I've got a feeling the ugly sister's going to turn up any minute. But I'm sure they'll be here any second. Richard will be joining us any moment. First of all, Danny, how you feeling, mate? You're not too well today, are you?
No, I don't know what it is, Paul. I've spent a weekend with a couple of Wallies, and you included. And yeah, I feel rough as hell. Not down to alcohol, funny enough, so I don't know what it is. I don't feel well at all. I'm going to give it 20 minutes on here, and then I'll probably pop off and let you guys carry on.
No problem at all. And Howard, how you been, mate? You've had a busy weekend?
Yes, absolutely. Obviously, I attended the wonderful Unite the Kingdom event, and we're obviously going to talk about that. But all I can say, what an experience! My wife and I both went together, and it was astonishing. It was great to see so many people and meet so many people of like-minded spirit.
Absolutely, and a very warm welcome to you, Howard. Thanks so much for coming on. Now, before we're still waiting for Richard to get on, so before Richard actually gets here, what we'll do is, Danny, something I just wanted to cover very quickly. Howard, no doubt, Richard's here now. Let me just let him in. Hold on 1 second. Evening, Richard.
Good evening. How are you all?
That sounds a nice, that sounds a nice husky voice.
Do you know what? I'm doing my best Paul Thorpe impersonation tonight. That gravelly voice that all the ladies love. Isn't it great?
How you doing, Richard?
I'll never be as good looking as Paul. I'll maybe be as good looking as Danny, but not as Paul.
So we was waiting for Cinderella. We got the ugly sister, but at least he's in anyway. Guys, just before we go any further tonight, on a more serious note, you'll obviously be aware that today the British people lost one of its great fighting heroes, Ricky Hatton. 49 years old, terrible day for the sport.
46, Paul, 46.
Yeah, sorry, was he 46? I thought it said 49. And Danny, you knew Ricky. You'd met him a few times, and
oddly enough, funny enough, Sophie just mentioned it to me a minute ago. She goes, "Look at this picture that we posted up. We was with him 8 years ago tonight." To the day.
Was it really?
Yeah, just checked on her Facebook, and we posted a picture up with all of us on the night out. Yeah. And 8 years ago today.
Yeah. Commiserations to Ricky's family, and especially the people of Manchester as well. A great Mancunian, loved his city, loved his football, loved Manchester City, and a British sporting icon. Terrible news, and we don't know what happened yet, but obviously. Everything will unfold over the next few days. But just wanted to mention that before we went any further tonight. Rest in peace, Ricky. Good man. He was a good man.
Yeah.
Richard, how are you, mate?
Mate, I'm alive.
You got back all right? You got back in one piece, safe and sound?
Back in one piece. I'm here. I'm alive and kicking. Still buzzing from the event. Some great adventures while I was over there. But I tell you what, it was. Howard, you were there, weren't you, mate? You were. Yeah. It was. What was it? I mean, the atmosphere was just absolutely phenomenal. But it was just such a sea of people. It was like riding the back of a tiger. I mean, it was powerful, absolutely powerful.
Well, it's interesting for the viewers tonight, guys, because you got Richard and Howard that were there. Danny and I, unfortunately, weren't, and we were sitting there. We sat there for about, I think, 7 hours. Danny.
Yeah, 7 hours, mate.
There was about, how many of us was there? 5 of us, or 6?
5 or 6, depending on what time of the event it was.
Yeah, 5 or 6 of us sat there in the hotel, in Danny's hotel. We watched it from before it kicked off right up towards till the very end. And so you're going to get two perspectives this evening, everyone watching. Obviously, everyone has, look, we've already seen the crowd, but you know, as we were watching in Spain yesterday, this is what greeted us. This is the sight that greeted us. And I looked at the boys, and the camera just kept moving and moving and
We was
moving.
expecting it to stop, Paul, weren't we? And this is only a part of it, can we just say?
Yeah, this isn't the whole
thing.
This isn't the whole thing. And I looked at Danny, and I just went, mate,
wow.
Wow.
We really wouldn't have made much difference, me and you being there, Paul.
Well, do you know what?
You can see me just there. There I am.
There he is.
Oh, you're waving. I can see you, Howard. Yeah, I can see you.
Well, tonight we're giving away £1 million to anyone that can get the exact amount of people that were there yesterday and name them.
That goes a lot further than that, Paul. Does your video carry on or not?
No, that's
at the end of it.
That's a shame because it branches out into the big open space, which was full as well.
But I've got to tell you, boys, Howard and Richard, I don't know why you're moving around on the screen there, but you are. How painful was it for us yesterday, Danny, sitting there watching that?
Unbelievable. Emotional at times as well, weren't it? We both had a big fat cigar that we went outside to take a bit of time out for 10 minutes or so, didn't we? And just emotional and horrible, and really, really horrible that we didn't manage. Well, to say we didn't manage, we felt it was probably a strategically better move not to go this time.
And that may have well proved to be the case. Richard, I don't know if you want to give us a few details about your entrance into the UK yesterday.
Yeah, well, on Friday. I landed at Stansted Airport on Friday and got off the plane. I got off the plane. It was very weird. There were 6 guys, looked like lefties, ponytails, goatee beards, skinny, sneaky looking twats. And this is I got off the plane. So and they were checking people's ID. Now this is a domestic flight from Belfast, right? I thought that's weird. And anyway, I kind of got up to where they were checking ID, and they said, "Have you got a passport?" I went, "No, I don't need a passport. It's a domestic flight." And the guy said, "Richard, we're the counter-terrorist police. We want to talk to you." I went, "Oh, okay." I says, "Well, I don't want to talk to you." This was Friday. This was Friday. I said, "I don't want to talk to you." And the copper said to me, he says, "Oh, it's in your best interest that you talk to me." I says, "No, I really don't think it is." And of course, a lot of people be intimidated that and would fold and go, "Okay, what do you?" And I said to him, I says, "Okay," I says, "Tell me this." And it was a very quick interaction, right? But they were there specifically to target me, nobody else, without a shadow of a doubt. And I said to him, I says, "You do know I'm on a domestic flight, don't you?" And he didn't answer. And I said to him, I says, "Okay, so you can't hold me because I'm on a domestic flight. So you can't hold me. I'm not in that grey zone between getting off a plane from Spain and getting to passport control, where you are actually in kind of a no man's land and the police can do what the hell they want with you. I'm still in the UK, right?" And so I says, "You're not holding me." I says, "Am I under arrest?" "No, you're not under arrest." I says, "Well, I'm going to go on my way." "Oh, but you really should speak to us." I says, "No, I don't want to speak to you. I'm very busy. I've got to go." And I walked off. Now, I don't know. This is what I'm not sure, right? First of all, was it just an attempt to intimidate me, right? Was that the first thing, right? Just, we know you're in the country. We don't like what you guys are doing, putting 1 million peaceful patriots on the street tomorrow. We're going to rattle your cage. Was it that sinister? Was there a threat against me? Well, you think if there was a threat against me, then you would get an Osmond warning or you'd be told in a different way. So for counter-terrorism to stop someone, and I want to make this clear to everybody, right? I have no criminal record, zero. I've never been in court for anything. I've never been a member of any terrorist organization or any paramilitary group ever. I've never incited violence in any of my videos because they would have arrested me and charged me for it if they had. So what the hell are counter-terror police doing? Stop it. We know what they did. We know what they did to Danny, right? Now, if I'd have been weak and gone, "Okay, I'll talk to you," I think I'd have got a Danny treatment. I think I'd have been grilled for 6 hours. They'd have took my phone and they'd have done the, goodness knows what. Or maybe they just made a mistake and thought I was an international flight and they just made a cock up. So it's very strange. And Danny, I know something of what you feel and what Tommy felt when he gets it as well. Because at the end of the day, it does unsettle you. Because anybody talking about terrorism, if you've committed a terrorism offence, you could be looking, you definitely looking jail time. Could be anything from a year to 20 years. You know. So, and with the way this government is so corrupt and so wicked and so evil, we know it's show me the man and I'll show you the crime.
Yeah.
That's the way this government's operating at the minute. Yeah. So that was my welcome to. And I've got a friend. I'm not going to mention his name, but he owns a Bentley, and I said to him, I says, mate, I says, do me a favor. See, when I come in, I want picked up in the Bentley, and I want dropped off at the hotel in the Bentley, right? And he's a good friend of mine. He laughed. He went, "Oh, for goodness' sake!" So he picked me up in his Bentley, and I said, I was on the phone to him. I was running through the airport, going, "Get that Bentley started now! Start revving the engine!"
Start the engine.
And I jumped in that car, and we were out of that airport double quick.
It's a good job you knew the situation about domestic flights being slightly different than Rich. To be fair,
100%. I mean, the thing was, I'm pretty good at thinking on my feet fairly quickly, and I'm not going to tempt fate because I don't want these people, getting a grudge against me and coming after me. But I'm pretty good at thinking on my feet, and I am. When it happens, I'm not phased. When afterwards, when you think about it, you go, "What was all that about?"
I'm really confused as to why they can hold Danny because he's coming in from Spain, but they can't hold you because you're coming in from Northern Ireland.
Well, Northern Ireland's part of the UK. It's part
Oh
of
no,
the
I
UK.
get that, but I just can't understand how that works. And if anyone's wondering why Danny and I didn't fly in from Spain on Friday to attend at the weekend, you know why? Because I honestly don't think that if we had done, we would have gone to the event anyway.
You'd have definitely got a pull, Paul. They would have. I'm convinced of it.
You're coming
Now,
from Spain.
Here's the thing, and I was thinking about this today, right? And this is a really important point, right? I'm not a terrorist, right? Never have been, never will be, right? Now, there are real terrorists, dissident IRA Republicans, Antifa, Islamist terrorists, real far-right terrorists. I'm not a terrorist. Danny's not a terrorist. Tommy Robinson's not a terrorist. Callum Webster, who was lifted, who used to work for Sargon, who used to work for Carl Benjamin, he's not a terrorist. Why are they lifting right-wing activists who are not terrorists under Terrorism Act and wasting police resources? 6 counter-terrorism cops from Essex Police standing at Stansted Airport to talk to me, And I actually checked. I was meant to fly back from Stansted when I initially decided I was going to London, and then I changed that flight to a Luton flight because that's where the hotel I was staying at was. But obviously the Stansted flight would still have been on the books. So they may well have gone looking for me at Stansted this morning. Do you know what I mean? So the whole thing is just very suspicious and
very suspicious
and very sinister.
And very sinister, absolutely. I mean, I'm getting angry with this now in the respect that I want to return. I want to return home to see the rest of my grandchildren, and I'm going to do it. I know that everyone keeps advising me not to, but I'm going to do it. Sod this. I can't go the rest of my life without never being able to come back to my home. And if they want to intimidate me, then so be it. But before I come, they better know that I'll have my solicitor ready and waiting. I'll have an army of social media people ready and waiting to report on it, and we'll shame the hell out of them.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, we was out in Benidorm last night, and I was with Danny and a few of the lads, and we bumped into Elaine and John from Liverpool, and they want me to say hello to them. And along with Elaine's sister Janet, we had a nice drink with those lovely people, didn't we, Danny? And
well, I left a little bit early, Paul, and I'll bring this one up because I actually tried to speak to Richard, but I was told by Tommy that you were stuffing your face in a restaurant.
Was this last night?
Yeah, it was quite late as well. It must have been quite late you was eating.
Not. You know what? I'm not going to go into that story.
Okay,
there was a reason it was late.
We'll leave that one alone. No, and before anyone,
because that is still a mute point, and I'm not going to say any more on that. We'll maybe talk about that when I've calmed down from that. But yeah, it was late for a reason. That's all.
Before anyone jumps on my back and says, "Oh, here we go, we're talking to Tommy again," etc., etc., I spoke to a friend of mine that called me, And he was sitting next to Tommy, and he said, "Do you want a quick word?" And Tommy said, "Yeah." So he spoke to me, and then he spoke to Paul afterwards. So we actually spoke to the main man on the night of the event, which was amazing.
And
You didn't speak to me. You didn't speak to me, Danny.
No.
And I can tell you, he was like a dog with two doodahs. Howard,
Monkey, not the organ grinder, mate. All right.
Howard. So looking back at the day, as I said, we're going to get a reflection from both sides. We weren't there; you two guys were. We've got over 3,000 people watching late on a Sunday night. Thank you so much. Love to you all. Howard, immense sense of pride.
I have no surprise about the love for Tommy, but I couldn't believe the depth of it. I mean, that's the point. I mean, everywhere there was not a bad word said about him. Everything was about when's he coming on, and he kept walking on the stage a bit in between because he was all arranging furniture and doing all sorts of things. That's the nature of the man. He gets stuck in, doesn't he? We Jenny and I, my wife and I, we were up there. We got there a reasonable time early, and I because I've got a problem with my hip, I couldn't walk with the march. So we got to Charing Cross, and I walked down the embankment and cut through round across towards Parliament Square, and then back up to Whitehall. And we went up to we stood by a little place right by the Women's Statue Memorial, which is the major, right close to the stage, about 50 yards from it. And I got waves from Dan Wootton and people like that. You come in this way. I said, no, I'm happy to stand here because, I understand it was so many people there, unbelievably wanted to get behind the stage. And I spoke to Richard about this. And I know there's no site that I wasn't there because I was behind the stage last time. But what got me was actually we were surrounded by people that were actually truly are there and for Advance UK, which I was quite surprised. I didn't see many reform people, even though they claimed that they were there. But what really pleased me was to see right above the stage the headline at the top. Obviously Unite the Kingdom. Right in the middle was Advance UK. Wow, what an advert for the party I'm very close to now, and we are, Paul, as you know, on the college, etc. But people kept coming up to me. I had loads of people coming with selfies, and the back of my coat said, I'm proud to be one of that lot. And everyone was coming up to take it because you turn around, they didn't want my face; they just want to see the back of my. But it was wonderful. But the thing for me is, you've probably seen a tweet I've done today. I think it's got about 8,000 or 9,000 likes, which is quite a lot for me. I couldn't believe just how the lies of the mainstream media. And I know we're going to come on to that, but from my point of view, that was so unbelievably hurtful. And I bought about 8 newspapers today. I wanted to see what was the number that they're going to say that actually attended, and no one got above 150,000 in any of the newspapers I read. And that they would range from right-wing Telegraph and Express all the way to left-wing Mirror. The Mirror said 100,000. But again, and even the Mail said it, and really said the right-wing extremist march.
Yeah, well, you know what,
the Daily Mail's an absolute disgraceful paper.
Oh, the Daily Mail is the proper guard press. But let me tell you, lads, why, whilst that is frustrating for us to see, it's actually good news. Let them carry on because they are burning their own base. Nobody's falling for this stuff anymore. Let them. If they start telling the truth, it's going to worry me. Let them carry on with their lies and their deceit and their gaslighting because every time they do it, they win us more supporters.
Diane Abbott was doing the head count, Paul.
Diane Abacus, yeah. But having said that, I have noticed a difference and a change of attitude. I'm going to play you a clip now that was on GB News this morning. And there's a difference. There's a tone. There's a difference in tone. There's a difference in wording. There's a difference in persuasion. Let's have a little listen to this, see what you think.
Now, the Unite the Kingdom rally through central London yesterday has been making huge headlines, some for the wrong reasons, some for an underestimation, actually, I think.
I'll just pause it there for a second, right? So they've started this off with both of them are smiling. Both of them, well, not at the moment, but she's smiling. They're both smiling. They're both sort of in a positive. They've got a positive voice, and she has said an underestimation. So let's carry on.
of how many people were there. Depends who you speak to. There were 25 protesters arrested. There were 26 police officers injured. But it was a far bigger picture than just that.
Yes, the march was organised by Tommy Robinson with Elon Musk delivering a live video message to protesters.
Well, one of our lovely viewers has said Doogie Beattie was there. Why don't you talk to him? Funnily enough, here he is.
Good to see you in the studio, Doogie.
Indeed, great to be here.
How many do you think were there?
Estimates at 110,000. I would say it was at least 3 times that. I mean, what was leaving Waterloo was easily 110,000. It was the kingdom coming to London. Every flag from the United Kingdom, and surprisingly to me, the Republic of Ireland represented there. There was full of mothers, grandmothers, fathers, sons. You know, I was amazed at the width of the population in London yesterday. It was amazing. And when they left Waterloo and started to go down through London, the ones from Birmingham joined at different points, all around the kingdom joined at different points. And as they made their way into Whitehall, there was huge numbers. And I mean, so many. I mean, Whitehall would have had 110, 150,000 in it. And I mean, I spoke to a few families who actually took their children out of there because they were afraid of a crush coming from the back to the front. And the only mistake really that the organisers made yesterday, because they were perfect the whole way through, their stewards were fantastic, was that they didn't take enough of Whitehall before they put the stage up. They could have went right in to the back of the MOD and further on up where the counter-protest was and still filled it. But the problem came yesterday was on the bridge at Westminster, because there were so many of them.
Nowhere to go.
Yeah.
There was nowhere to go. The police,
Road.
the police decided to then put them off and down this inside of the embankment. And there was different police forces from all over the UK were brought in to help. And at that point, I don't think there was anything malicious in it. I genuinely think it was a miscommunication of police. Right at embankment, they redirected them, which really took them around the back of Whitehall, straight into the counter-protest.
Yeah, I mean,
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual...
So we'll end it there, guys, because they go into an advert. But Richard, what did you saw a little bit of that yesterday?
A little bit, Paul.
What's
You
your
haven't spoken
take?
to me, have you? You haven't a clue what I did yesterday.
What's your take on it?
Right. Okay. Well, I got there. What time? 10 o'clock, maybe it's 10:30, and the stewards had already blocked off Stamford Street, and that was filling up, really filling up. And at that point, everything was completely controllable. Obviously, I'm talking to the police all the time because I'm the liaison guy. So I talk to the police. They give me live updates on what's happening, and then obviously we've got to react for that. So one of the problems we had the stewards that got there were really good, but there was only 40 stewards there. There was a lot didn't turn up. So what I did, I even deputized young Bob and made him a deputy, right? So I gave him a bib, said, "You're now a steward," right? So I was looking for military lads. So we got maybe another 15 stewards, because the reality is the numbers were so great coming from every single side. So at the beginning of it, the police got in touch with me. They said, "We need you to go down to Blackfriars Road because we've got a problem down there. The protesters won't move, and the police are getting a bit edgy." So again, when they say the police are getting a bit edgy, I'm always worried about these TCG guys like you saw there, starting swinging batons, and that provokes a situation. So when you're dealing with the police in these situations, some of them are really good, right? But others, it's like you're doing a hostage negotiation, and it's the police that've got the gun to the hostage's head, So you've got to be very calm, very sensible. So I took 4 stewards, all blokes, and a security man round the back of Blackfriars. And fortunately, right, there was a guy who had a sound system there who I knew people that knew him. And I says, "Craig, give me the mic." I says, because I've got to get these people moving up into Stamford Street. So that blockage, I got right at the back of Stamford Street, right at the back, it was about a mile there and back. So we legged it down there, got those guys up going onto Stamford Street, and that meant that people could flow from Blackfriars because everything's getting congested. And what Dougie Beattie said there about people being scared of a crush, I'll go into that in a minute because that's really important. Because once you reach a critical mass, and obviously the helicopter is filming to see if you're gonna, because I said this right the way through when we were talking to the police, and the police, I must say, the police did not take it seriously. I said, guys, I said, I am very worried that we might have a crush in Whitehall, but I'll go into that in a minute. But so right from the beginning, we were intervening to stop either the police getting out of hand or some of our lads misunderstanding what was happening.
Richard, a lot of people have said that the police, by mistake, sent them around the wrong road.
I'll cover that in a minute.
Okay, yeah.
Because right, the problem was at every level of this march was numbers. The numbers, we've never seen anything like it. And literally to have that few stewards made it almost, and they did great holding that line at Stamford Street, and they stood there for hours. They held that line for a long, long time. But what happened was at the top end of Stamford Street, when I got back there, eventually people were meant to go down the side roads and come in the back of Stamford Street, but people started just coming straight up from Waterloo Station. And probably by about 12 o'clock, we had thousands of people on the south side of the roundabout that we had no control over. So when we deputized these new stewards, we put them with a line across them to keep them off the road. But there were so many that they kind of flipped it round, and we had a line of stewards basically facing the bridge of Waterloo. So now we've got two front lines. We've got the front line at Stamford Street, and we've got a front line halfway around the roundabout because there's so many people coming up from Waterloo Station. And then they started coming across Waterloo Bridge. So the police commander says to me, he says, we've lost the roundabout. He says, there's just too many people coming into this area. He says, and he said this, he said, I have no authority to do anything with these people because we haven't changed the conditions to accommodate this. He says, so you got to make a decision now on what you do. And I says, well, okay, well, let's have a discussion, because what I wanted to find out was what the best course of action was. So there's a security guy with me. There was one of the men from the stewards. I don't know his name, but he did a great job. He was really, really good. And we came to the conclusion, it wasn't unanimous, but we came to the conclusion that what we had to do was pull the people from Stamford Street round to the north of the roundabout and form a line. So you had to form another front line. And that caused a problem because obviously Tommy and the security guys were then going to have to come through that crowd. But there was no other way of doing it, because otherwise they would have had to come through that crowd anyway, but then they'd have had to go back on themselves to that front line. So we had to bring the two front lines together. And we did it, and we pulled it off, but it just made it very difficult for Tommy and the security guys to get through that crowd. Because it's like when Tommy comes through a crowd, it is carnage, right? Yeah. But they got through. Nobody was hurt. Nobody was injured. So we pulled it off. But there was things changing all the time. So with the policing of it, I think the policing was actually. I didn't see everything. I've seen some of these incidents where the police seem to be attacking people. I think that's down to individual units, but I think the overall strategy, it was almost impossible for them to manage it because there was just so many people.
Sheer weight of numbers.
And another thing is, once I legged it forwards of the march and got to the staging area, because what I wanted to see was what was happening when the crowds were filling up, because I was worried about this crush in Whitehall. I was there, I think, for about half an hour to an hour, and one of the police liaisons said the helicopter's telling us we're going to have a crush in that crowd in Whitehall unless we stop people getting into Whitehall, right? So then I had to go with a police liaison. So this is all within, this all happens within a sort of with the police liaison to the back of Whitehall, have a look at it. We'd no stewards. We'd literally no stewards there to cover that. So I went just up with a copper, and there's a few cops in the crowd trying to stop people going up there, but there weren't enough. So we had stewards guarding Downing Street. So I took those 10 stewards from Downing Street and put them across the back at Whitehall. So we didn't block it, but we were literally shouting at people saying, stop going in there. I mean, I was honestly, and so were the police. Everybody was worried that there was going to be a Hillsborough type situation there.
So Richard, if we'll try and sort of sum up a little bit on this one. What did we learn from that yesterday? Because obviously that mustn't happen again. What did we learn, do you think? And how would that be potentially for the future? What will we need to do to make sure that that's
well?
brought
I think first of all, I think the first thing is Dougie Beattie summed it up, but he got it wrong. We wanted a lot more space than they gave us, right? I was saying right the way along, if we're going into Whitehall, that is literally a choke point. There's going to be barriers on either side. There's going to be barriers in front of those screens. This is extremely dangerous. I said that time and time again on the police meetings, and it was completely ignored. I'm going to be honest with you. So that was a big strategic error by the police. But it wasn't deliberate. It wasn't malicious. They just weren't thinking that we were going to get that many people. And of course, we all knew how many people were going because we knew everybody we knew was going to the thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we knew there's going to be millions of people there. And it was watching that happen in slow motion was really very not scary for me, but it was because I knew there was women and kids in that crowd. Right? Yeah. And if we didn't act when we did act and start turning that tide, that's why my voice is like this, because I was shouting and we had another guy shouting who had a real voice on him, and we managed to stop that tide of people going to Whitehall.
There's one or two accusations that the police allowed or accidentally, I think accidentally is the word, it's an important word to use, that there might have been a miscommunication between the different forces there, and some of our people got a little bit too close to some of the counter demonstration, and that caused a little bit of bad feeling.
I think what happened, I think, to be honest with you, right, I think there was the police were not expecting the size of that crowd.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to do a calculation because I can work out how many were there roughly. I'm going to do that when we get off. Well, I'm going to do another live stream straight after this for the churchy people. But there were so many people there. The police massively underestimated the number of people that were going to be there. And I think on all sides, the stewards that I had with me, who were deputized, a lot of them who'd never done it before, they just literally been thrown a high-vis vest
in the deep end.
Those ones that I took from Downing Street to stop that crowd crush, it's going to sound dramatic, but I believe they saved people's lives. I absolutely believe.
Can I just say something? Because one of the things, Noel Wilcox contacted me because he couldn't make it, but his mum could, Geraldine Wilcox. And he said, how if you could just keep an eye on her, which I couldn't do that. I didn't know where she was, but I gave her my telephone number so she could WhatsApp me. But she said at one stage, Howard, where are you? Because we've been kettled by the police. So that was a bit of a concern to me. So I managed to find out where she was. It was near Horse Guards Parade. That's the other.
Well, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in the chat saying that they couldn't even get to the demo for one reason or another, which is, obviously not great. But we'll try and move back to the positives of it. Danny, watching from Spain like we were, I think we both felt an immense sense of pride and watching all the people speaking. And, for me, it was one of the most difficult days of my life, sitting there really, having an out-of-body experience. My body was in Spain, but my heart was back in London. Yeah. But I had an immense sense of pride watching all the speakers, watching the vast amount of beautiful, lovely people there from all races and colours and backgrounds. How the media have the goddamn nerve to gaslight the nation and call this a far right racist gathering.
Every headline, Paul.
It's every just beyond me.
With far right activism, thugs, the usual crap
nonsense
they post. 110,000, I think, the pretty much average from what all the news. They had more than 110,000 on London Bridge, mate.
Well, I did my own kind of fairly basic calculation earlier on. I took an image of what I could get, and I counted 500 people, and then I counted how many blocks, and I made it around 850,000 in that group. In that big lineup that we saw, I made it around 850.
I don't think 3 million in total is an over exaggeration. I'm going to be honest with you.
You're dead right, Danny. You're dead right.
I think 3 million is a fair. We're not going to get it. We're never going to know, are we? But 3 million, I think. 2 million probably wouldn't be enough. 3 million, maybe a little too much. But in between that, I think we're somewhere near right.
Let's get on to some really good news, because the good news is, Howard, we are winning, mate. We are winning. It's happening. It is happening.
Yeah, it's an amazing situation. And when you think about that, there was no politicians there except one man. That was Ben Habib. You know, I'm regarded as a politician, but I wasn't speaking. But Ben Habib produced one of the greatest rallying, and he was nervous as hell. I know. I spoke to him, and I think he may have mentioned that. But you know, to stand in front of that image, you know, people going back as far as you could see to Parliament Square from where he was. You know, we're a good. Up near the back of Ministry of Defence, that area there, you know, that's where the stage was. And watching him in action, I felt for him. I thought, oh dear, I'm a bit concerned here. Is he going to be all right? And God, he actually, and of course, the usual Starmer is a wanker came up. And honestly, I thought, oh no, how's he going to handle this? But he just said, yeah, go for it.
Get it. What did he say? Get it off your chest. Richard, sorry, go on, Howard.
No, I was only going to say, you know, that obviously good, but I was also moved by other things. Like I think I said to you earlier off air about the Maris thing, doing the hacker. This is quite emotional for me because I played rugby against them years ago. And also the most moving thing for me was the girl that was, you know, went to school with a Union Jack. And she basically read out her speech she would have read that day in school if she wasn't told to go home. She was talking about culture and history and proud to be British. And that, to me, both my wife and I had a lump in our throat with that one. You know, those are the sorts of feelings we got.
How amazing did she do, Howard? How amazing did she do?
13 years old.
I mean,
13 years
a young
age.
child. And possibly talking in front of your classmates of 30 people would have been quite intimidating.
Yeah.
You know what?
Talking in front, amazing.
Do you know what, guys? Bless her heart, right? She personified the reason why everyone was there and why we do what we do. Richard, there's no stopping us now, is there?
Well, it's a demo.
No, I'm talking about politically in general.
No, it's a demo. It means nothing unless those people that went out on that demonstration are turned into voters, political activists, members of every single person that was on that demo that paid all that money to go there should pay whatever the membership fee is for Advance UK and join Advance UK immediately.
Well, 3,000 did actually join overnight.
There you go. You see? Yeah. There you go. But we need to get 3 million.
You're right.
Advance UK, I mean, I don't think that we're winning because we still have a communist government in power. We still have Islamists in control of many of the organs of power. We have the globalists, the communists, and the Islamists controlling all the quangos, all the judiciary, certainly influencing the police. So no, we're not winning. We had a very optimistic 48 hours, and it was great. It was an absolutely phenomenal experience. 1 million people went out and protested against Tony Blair's illegal war in Iraq. Did it stop the war? The war went on for 8 years. 500,000 people were killed on a lie, right? So unless we get rid of this stinking, rotten, I was going to say Keir Starmer is the Starmer regime, then it's a hollow. It's not even a victory. So,
no, Richard. Do you know what, Richard?
I'm just being realistic.
No, Richard. Do you know what? To be fair, you're right. You're actually right. But when I say we're winning, what I meant by that was, let me explain myself a little bit better. The nation is finally awakening, and for me, that means that we are winning in doing our job. Our job is to wake the nation up. We have 4,000 people watching live now on my channel. I don't know if we're streaming anywhere else, but you know, our job is to wake the public up. Our job is to tell them what's going on and to try to do the right thing. And that makes it for us. It's a minor victory, but it's a victory that people are awakening. Where else? Who else? Let me ask the panel this, all of you. And we'll start with Danny. Who else, apart from Tommy, could get that amount of numbers into London on a bloody wet Saturday afternoon?
No one at all, mate.
By the way, a full fixture list going on right up and down the country.
Can I just say also, it's not just the amount of people that turned up at the march. There was a statement from Gurumit, which I saw on his Facebook yesterday. He said 2.1 million people are watching our demonstration right now. There's 1,000 people watching Sky News online.
Yeah.
So that just shows you who was watching. And it's not just from that, is it? It's all the social media posts that went out. So it's not just so for argument's sake, if I put a social media post on, I think on my Facebook I've got 4,000 friends on there. I don't know every one of them, of course, but there's a lot of people that I interact with. So my one post goes potentially to 4,000 people. So all of those posts, and all I saw, it was every post. I mean, I don't think I got a gap apart from some Facebook adverts in between it. Every single post was about yesterday. Now, obviously, there's, I've got a lot of people that I've connected with inside the movement, if you like, and I guess I would be seeing more than the average Joe. But even if, one person's on the normal Facebook, they've got 300 or 400 friends and they share a post, it just goes so viral. You don't know how many people we hit yesterday. That's,
well, just so you know, right now, as an example, you've got a multi-billion-dollar organisation in Sky News, etc. They have 4,100 people watching live now. We have 3,900 people watching now. So for all their money, for all their fame, for all their subscribers, they have a couple of hundred people watching Sky News live now than we do watching us. Not bad, is it, really, when you think about it? Not
pretty
bad
impressive.
At all.
It's only because Howard's here.
That's it, exactly. They knew Howard was coming on. Thank you, a new member there, Scotty John. Thank you. Hey guys, what's your estimates on numbers attending? I think we've done that one. Thank you very much, Cyberstorm. The crowd was massive. What did you all think of Tommy and Ben's speeches? Could this really be the start of a cultural revolution in the GB? I mean, I thought Tommy's speech was brilliant. I thought Ben's speech was amazing. For me, the biggest moment, I think probably the most defining moment of the afternoon was to get Elon Musk live via video link. I mean, that was just absolutely incredible. Let's get your thoughts on that first, Howard. What did you think when you saw Elon Musk up there live on screen? And funny thing is, you know what? Just before we say this, or just before Howard tells us what he's going to say, when I visited Tommy in jail, I think it was back in November, I think, from memory. When I left, the last thing I said to him was, Tommy, by the end of this year, you'll be meeting Elon Musk. And he laughed and he smiled and he went, please God. Yeah. And here we are. Howard, what was your reaction to Elon Musk yesterday?
Well, when I visited Tommy in February, I mean, that's when Elon Musk started to actually say that Nigel Farage is not fit for purpose. So when we got to that situation, but when we saw him yesterday, I mean, there was a sharp intake of breath, to be honest, for a lot of people around me going, wow, this sort of, that's the sort of the richest man on the planet, was there talking on the screen in Whitehall to good old Joe Public, who really, and I was a bit nervous about what way people would think about it, because should he be interfering in British politics and or what's going on over here? But the way he delivered it, I mean, he said, no, we've got to fight, fight basically for what we want. That was a good delivery. Yeah, I was quite proud to be there. I thought that would happen. I wasn't aware it was going to happen. It was all kept pretty secret. But I thought that would happen because I've been watching his tweets and the way he's been talking about and basically retweeting Tommy's stuff virtually every 20 minutes. I've been watching Elon Musk doing that, and it's very good. I don't think he's done any damage. I think he's done a lot of good, and so I think it's okay. So in answer to your question, yeah, it was a great moment.
Luke at Photography London, thank you. I was there under the heavy rain on Westminster Bridge, and it was beautiful to see so many British flags flying under Big Ben. Amazing. Nina Vanava, thank you very much. Some tube stations were closed deliberately, but we got there. Beautiful sight. Didn't get to see anything. Doesn't matter. Met some lovely people. You will always meet lovely people, that is for sure. Richard, Elon Musk, your thoughts on that?
Didn't hear it. Didn't hear any of the speeches. I heard half of Dominic Szynski's speech, and I
You was working.
saw Adam Brooks implode his career on GB News by sharing a platform with Tommy Robinson.
I couldn't believe that. You're right, Richard. I couldn't believe that.
I went up to Danny Lockwood. I went up to Danny. You knew Adam Brooks just didn't want to come on the stage. Tommy goes, "Come on the stage," and I was going, "No, no." So he came on the stage. I went up to Danny Lockwood and said, "There's that young lad that used to work for GB News."
I've got a funny feeling.
Guys, I'm actually on GB News in the morning.
Oh, there you go. Do you know what?
Oh, yeah.
This could have broken the mold, because Dominic Szynski was on. Apparently, Adam Brooks was on last night. So
I'm talking about, is the Union Jack divisive?
Well, I love it.
Well, here's the thing. All this talk on GB News and Talk TV of the event, etc., of Elon being on there, and is the flag offensive? Why don't they just ask the man himself?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the question. Why don't they just have the man on himself?
Absolutely.
Tony Ball, thank you. Had so many men shake my hand, was in a wheelchair, so much love. Next rally, could wheelchair users be at the front of the march as we did on the 27th of July?
I want to address that as well. So
as it was much safer. Yeah, go on, mate.
I mean, these are all things that are really important. I mean, I think that the reality is there just weren't anywhere near enough stewards to cover the thing. It was as simple as that. They would have needed, to cover it right, you'd have needed 1,000 stewards and security, and we just don't have it. But what happened was that the wheelchair users were, when we had the first initial start-off point at Stamford Street, the wheelchair users were there. So obviously when that start line had to move forward because of the numbers and because of what was happening south of the roundabout, they basically got left behind in the crowd. And, and when that started moving off, there was nothing you could do. And you can't legislate for that, because obviously the numbers was the problem. The numbers caused all the problems. And it's a great problem to have. But I mean, I think Tommy's talking about Hyde Park next for the next one. I don't know if he's put a date out yet, but he's talking about Hyde Park. I think that's a very wise move, because, you can put 3 million people in Hyde Park and it's not going to cause a problem.
Richard, did the organisers, do you think, even, because I know Tommy was saying there'd be 1 million people there, do you think you all underestimated how many people?
No, I mean, no, not at all. We knew there was going to be massive numbers, and we told the police there was going to be massive numbers. And I'm not blaming the police. I think the police did a good job in the circumstances. But again, when you've got that many numbers, it's a great problem to have. But there's always going to be some flashpoints and fans. I'll tell you a funny story. Actually, this is a good one. The left were at the top end of Whitehall, right? Yeah. And with the Palestinian flags and the, stand up to racism, little placards and all the usual stuff, chanting about Nazis and all the stuff that they always do. And then that was at the beginning of the ride. Then about halfway through, I thought, I can see a Union Jack in there with those people. What's someone doing with a Union Jack? And then there was more and more Union Jacks. And what happened? A whole lot of patriots had got round the back of them and taken complete control of Trafalgar Square. So the Patriots took over Trafalgar Square, and they wouldn't let them go. They surrounded the lefties, and basically they were stuck there for hours, unable to leave. And this one of the Maoris that was doing the hackery comes up to me, he says, "What's happening with the left? Why haven't they gone yet?" I says,
that's quite good, Rich. I'm impressed.
It's not bad. Yeah.
It's not as bad. It's not as good as my Paul Thorpe impersonation. He says, when are the left going to go? I says, they'll go when we let them go. Of course, we had no control. We had no control over the Patriots in Trafalgar Square, but
it's interesting. They've actually come out on X that actually say they've lost. They said they had about 5,000 there around Trafalgar Square, and they said and they even admitted, I'll give them their due. They've actually come out and said Tommy Robinson beat us. We were humiliated. That's on X, their own feed.
I'll tell you what I found funny. I'll tell you what I found really funny yesterday. Watching that lot, so-called stand up to racism, a group of white folk chanting at a multicultural crowd. It was hilarious. It was actually, I actually laughed out loud, because you got this group of weirdo, smelly, freaky type people shouting racist comments, accusing our people of being racist, and We were the people. We were the multicultural group. I mean, what is going on with them? I just don't know. Brown tissue. Going to say this one out loud because I've got to say I feel the same. Where was Rupert Lowe? Not impressed. I'm going to say that.
I think reform and Rupert Lowe and the Conservative Party made a massive strategic error. I mean, you know, when Richard Tice said about that lot, well, yeah. Richard, just to let you know, that lot stretched from Blackfriars right the way to Whitehall with an unbroken chain, and that lot are never going to vote for you because they're going to vote for Advance UK.
Yeah. I've got a video coming out tomorrow morning on precisely that subject, that lot. Hello, is Howard. You're right, Howard. You're doing your exercise there. There you go. Proud to be one of that lot. Well done, mate. Well done. God, this is like we all sound like we need to get down to the doctors. Danny's dying. I thought Howard's got a bad back. Richard's coughing away like a good one. Hazel, thank you, Hazel. After the incredible image from yesterday, the audacity of Starmer to keep pushing his absurd narrative, the guy is the range. Perfect timing, Hazel, because I was going to get this picture up. We will never surrender our flag, Sir Keir Starmer says. This man is a total and utter moron. Keir Starmer, if you're watching this, if your lot want to arrest me when I come back into London, I might as well make it worth me while. You are a bloody cretin. Do you know what, Mr. Starmer? We don't want to surrender our flag either, right? And we ain't surrendering it to you and your lot. And I'll tell you something now. You proved after the Southport tragedy that you are so out of touch with the British people that it is unbelievable. But to say that yesterday, after watching, I don't know, let's just say 1.5 million people, proud, beautiful British patriots, men, women, children, young, old, disabled, how you can suggest that they are trying to steal our flag and use it for sinister purposes is beyond disgusting.
Not his flag.
It's not his flag, that's right. Absolutely, it's not his flag. Laurie N, thank you. Mainstream media playing silly buggers with crowd numbers. I thought it was actually quite hilarious. It was almost a Benny Hill moment. Yesterday, the BBC described it as a few thousand. A few thousand. MC Legend, thank you. Paul, hope you're well. I'm thankful for your content. As a young autistic lad from a lefty family, you've helped me question their ideology. Thank you. Well, thank you very much as well. One bit of advice I would always give everyone: work things out for yourself and you will come to the right conclusions. That's the best tip I can give you there. Philip, thank you. I've had a little bet with my wife. I think Starmer will be gone by Christmas. The only thing there, Philip, I would say is be careful what you wish for, because you know the deputy PM is. It could be even funnier. Do you know what? I tell you what. Why don't we just do it? Sod it for a laugh. Can we imagine that at Christmas, David Lammy is our Prime Minister and Diane Abbott is the new Deputy Prime Minister? How about that? That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
No,
it wouldn't. Well, do you know what? I've got to the point where I think I would just actually have to laugh, honestly. Adam, thank you. Mainstream media downplayed the number of attendees and exaggerated the number of counter-protesters. Talk about desperate. They are indeed getting desperate. And Hazel says the lies from the MSM are just embarrassing. The pictures speak for themselves. It shows everyone how much they lie. It's proving our case. That's what I was saying earlier on, Hazel. You know, as far as I'm concerned, let them crack on, because the people are now waking up and seeing for themselves that we
Just
are
quickly,
dealing
Paul, while we're on that
with a bunch of lies. Yes, mate.
A friend of mine went past, it wasn't nothing to do with either of the marches. He was in London and he went past the counter-protesters yesterday. He said he had a rough count. He said, and there's no way they had even 1,000 people there.
Yeah, really? Doesn't surprise me. Let's have a look at these stats. Now, these come up today. Notting Hill Carnival, 528 arrests, 46 weapons, weapon possession, 18 sexual offences, mainstream media and left narrative, lovely family day out. United Kingdom rally, 9 arrests. Now, we hear there were 25, but I'm told today that only 9 of those were from our side. The rest of the 25 were made up from the opposition. Weapon possession, 0. Sexual offences, 0. Mainstream media and left narrative, far right, racist yobs. Sums it up nicely, I think.
Well, what's so appealing about what happened yesterday, where it's 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, they seem to be ignoring the mainstream media and still coming. And that's what's happening now. And your point, and your channel is loved by so many people. I spoke to people yesterday. I did speak to someone about you, Paul. That you couldn't come across here because of what you've been put through, and they said, "Oh, we love Paul Thorpe. We're always watching Paul Thorpe." These people I've never met before. Etc. So the independent channels, and obviously Dan Wootton, he streamed all from the stage all day. There, as you say, he got 1 million. I think he got something like 1 million.
Yeah, 1 million. You know what, Howard? I'm glad you mentioned that. Well, I don't know if Dan gets to see this, but well done, Dan. I thought his production yesterday was first class, and well done to all the independent guys that were down there yesterday. You are doing God's work. Thank you so much for that. It's really appreciated. Elon Musk, join Advance to save Britain.
Wow.
There you go. That's from the man himself. And on that note, let's see how many people we can get to sign up to Advance whilst we are on this live stream. 4,000 people watching, so we're catching up with Sky News Live. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you give us a thumbs up.
Pop the link up there, Paul,
and subscribe. Yeah. So let me put the link in the chat. Hold on one sec.
Can you get it on the screen now?
Actually, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'll do it on the screen. There you go. You can join Advance whilst we are on air. Let us know if you've done that.
Again, I think we've got to say this very, very clearly. The demos are great. I love demos. I mean, especially yesterday, it was just an incredible moment in British history. But if we don't do this, join Advance UK, we're not going to make a difference. It's as simple as that.
What is that, Danny? I can't see it, mate.
391 watching Sky News Live at the moment. And
is
that's
there
live
really?
From my phone now. Sky News Live. I don't know if you can see that. Well, it was 391. It might have gone up a couple or two.
Unbelievable. And they have 8.9 million viewers.
Watching. 8.92 million followers.
Subscribers.
It's gone to 377 now. Look, I mean, I can't make this up because that's the live thing.
Yeah, well, they're all watching us, Danny. That's what it is. Have a little look at this today.
Howard's on.
Thanks, Danny. How much do I owe you, mate?
Yeah, I'll send you an invoice, mate.
Listen to this, guys, because I say we're winning, but we're not, as Richard says. Jonathan Marshall on Facebook. Today, I proudly flew the Union flag as I rode out at the Stanhope Show. Remember the name, guys? The Stanhope Show. Sadly, the organisers thought it was inappropriate and asked me to leave the show immediately. Ironically, I dedicated my performance to Charlie Kirk, and like him, I was silenced. Sadly, we won't be performing there tomorrow. However, I know that my support for freedom of speech and patriotism is hugely supported by the massive turnout today in London. Well done, UK. Let's make Britain great again. Well done, Jonathan Marshall. And if anyone is going to the Stanhope Show tomorrow, take your Union flag with you and tell them to shove their opinions where the sun doesn't shine. Unbelievable. Who has the authority to tell anyone that our flag is not welcome in our country?
And why would they do it? Why would they do
it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sinister people with sinister intentions. British patriot till I die. Thank you. Tell Richard I had a great day with him. Been his cameraman, his steward, and he owes me a 99.
I do. Listen, I'll get when I put my little video together. I was watching that footage. I'm not going to say this guy's name in case he doesn't want it, but he was an absolute legend, right? And
well, I think his name's Dave. he's put his name David in there.
David, yeah, Dave. Yeah, okay, it's Dave. Well, listen, Dave, you put the name in there. He was one of the guys that helped massively when we were making those difficult decisions. He was there. We had to have a little council of war, and we had to make difficult decisions on how we did stuff. And he was brilliant. And there's another guy, and I don't know the guy's name. He's one of the stewards. Absolutely superb. Was round where the on the other side of the roundabout. He did a great job as well. It was just amazing. I mean, some of the people there, the work that people put in to keep things safe and peaceful was absolutely incredible. It was
well
absolutely
done. Well done to everyone,
well, David.
Well done.
that guy, and he just deputised straight away. He comes straight down.
But Dave, Richard, I'm sorry, I've got to interrupt you here. Dave, I've got to tell you, mate, there's one bit of bad news. I'm going to give you 25 to 1 that you will not get your 99. I'll tell you that.
Oh, we will. see at Hyde Park if there's an ice cream van. In Northern Ireland, they're called pokes. That's what you call an ice cream.
Right.
So Dave's going to get a poke with a 99 in it.
That sounds painful.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you don't ask for a man in London for a poke, Richard. You'll get a black eye.
You see, that's because we're more cultured in Northern Ireland. It just means an ice cream.
Thank you, Mouse Charger. Big up to Dan Wotton's coverage, by the way. Yeah, brilliant. Hazel, thank you, my love. My fave bit, Ben shouting, Keir Starmer's a wanker. Ben is such a legend. Yeah. He's not gonna. That's gone pretty viral, actually. To be fair. Thank you very much, Sick Limited. Sick Lid support from America. The Americans were also absolutely fabulous yesterday. Don Keefe was brilliant. I didn't know Don could sing.
You can't.
No, I knew that was coming, Richard. I knew that was coming.
Do you know what? Well, it's really interesting because Jenny and I went out by train from the heart of Kent to get to Charing Cross, and we're sitting there minding our own business. And obviously, I had my jacket on, which said "proud to be, one of that lot." But there's a guy kept staring at me. I thought, oh, hang on a second, what's going on here? He's just looking at me. Every time I looked at him, he's looking at me. He moved seat to come and sit next to me. This guy had come from Switzerland, Lucerne. He's driven over stayed at Calais the night before, then drove across to Ashford in Kent, and then got on the train, which is where I met him. And he was coming over just for the day from Switzerland to attend Tommy's rally. That's but he's a Scotsman, by the way, but he lives in Lucerne. But
was he a UKIP guy? Was he a UKIP guy?
I think he might have been, yeah. Why?
I know who that is. Yeah, I know him.
His name, you won't mind me saying his name's Sandy.
Let's have a little look at this. Luca, thank you. I was close to the Westminster Tube station and people were crushed under the arcades. Therefore, some decided to clash with the police to find a way out. They did not let us get out of a dangerous situation. I mean, that's shocking. And this is... let's hope next time that things can be better. I mean, I think the last couple of free demos, the police have been pretty good. But obviously, we wasn't there yesterday, so I can't comment. Gobadon, the people have the right to protest government mismanagement on any issue. Don't ever let them bully you and call you far right. Chris, the mainstream media are dying. They are indeed. Rob, right now it's up to reform, not to split the vote. Rob, brilliant comment. This is the subject of my video tomorrow morning. Make sure you don't miss that one. I want to get on to no more supers tonight, guys. Thank you, by the way. Thank you so much for those. I want to get through some of the regular chat if I can. One thing I did want to touch on, lads, was this. Nigel Farage, this is a quote in the Daily Mail. The left tried to silence my friend Charlie Kirk with wild slanders. What, like woman beater? Did they create the febrile atmosphere where someone thought it was legitimate to stop him talking for good? Now, I'm going to leave that on screen for a moment. And I want people to digest what they're actually reading there. Because this is precisely what the media and indeed Nigel himself has done to Tommy and to others as well. This has to stop, doesn't it, lads? Richard, first of all, you on this one, it's got to stop, hasn't it? This demonisation of people has to stop. Otherwise, it's going to be another Charlie Kirk.
I don't agree at all. I don't agree at all. I think people have got freedom of speech. If you're saying things that's not true, obviously that's wrong, and you can be sued for defamation. Unless you're
But
actually,
you can't, Richard.
no,
Richard,
hold on.
Tommy
Let
can't
me finish,
sue
Paul.
Nigel
Let me
Farage.
finish.
Go on.
If you're defaming someone, okay, then that's illegal. If you're inciting violence, that's illegal. If you're saying Keir Starmer's a wanker, that shouldn't be illegal. So we've got to be very careful what we wish for. And I am pretty much I'm a free speech absolutist unless it is actually directly inciting violence. If it's defamation, that's a civil case where people can sue you for defaming someone's character.
But the trouble is with that, Richard, Tommy can't sue Nigel Farage, and the reason he can't sue him is because the court would say you haven't got a reputation to defame.
Well, that's absolutely true. That's the way the law is. But the reality is, if someone defames you, and you've got the money to sue them, obviously you can sue them, but that's not the issue. The issue is about freedom of speech. If you defame someone, you can be sued, and you can be sued.
So are you a freedom? Would you say you're a freedom of speech absolutist?
No. There's two instances where I don't think freedom of speech is acceptable. That's if I say I'm going to come round to Danny's house and shoot him, or I'm going to tell someone to go to Danny's house and shoot him. That is obviously criminal incitement to murder and kill. So that should be a criminal offence. And that's actually it. There's nothing else.
What about
incitement to violence that I think should be banned?
Before we get to the others,
because look, if we Paul, you're on the college, right? If you believe in the principles of advance, you must agree with me, because one of the principles is freedom, and that's freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, freedom of thought.
Yeah, no, I don't agree. I'll tell you where I am on that one, Richard. I think I'm a strong believer in freedom of speech, but I don't believe you should be free to try and get someone killed.
Well, no, that's what I've said.
So
that's what I said.
I am listening. But
incitement to murder is completely wrong, and it is illegal. There's laws
Richard,
against that. Any other freedom laws are wrong.
Richard, you use the analogy of saying someone should go round and shoot Danny. You don't have to quite say it that way to try and convince someone that someone needs to try and do that. But let's have a look at this. Do you think this is freedom of speech? Let me get this up.
I want to dedicate this next one to an absolute piece of shit of a human being. The pronouns were. Shit, you will get banned. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, you piece of shit.
Now, is that free?
Well, that is freedom of speech. Unfortunately,
I agree.
He's actually not inciting anyone to kill him. He's actually saying it's like we're saying that Keir Starmer's a wanker. But what got me about your thing with Nigel Farage, that piece you put up just now, that article, is that he's an opportunist. That's what I get with Nigel Farage. Charlie, he's using the Charlie Kirk thing. He's died now. He's suddenly coming out saying he's his bosom buddy. And I bet you he's only met him once at some rally over there, those sorts of things. And I see that time and time again with those sorts of people. But I'm a great believer in freedom of speech. Even if I hate those people in Trafalgar Square, they have every right to do what they're doing.
I agree. The problem I have with it is having been the victim of people lying about you. When people lie about you deliberately to make you a target, I don't think that's freedom of speech. I actually think that's defamation, and it's dangerous.
Yeah, that's different.
It's not fair. It's not fair. I don't think it should be illegal.
Paul, that's breaking the law. Yeah, if you are actually lying about someone publicly, whether it's written in slander or libel, whatever it is, that there is a law to protect you on that one.
Exactly. It's civil law. I mean, if you wanted to sue the people that are lying about you, if you could track them down, they'll probably be anonymous on the net, most of them. But I just ignore them. I mean, at the end of the day, look, the bottom line is we either believe in freedom of speech or we don't. And I think the only thing is direct incitement to violence. What that vile scumbag rap artist said about Charlie Kirk was absolutely disgusting. He'll answer for that. He'll answer to God one day for saying that. But in this life, it's not breaking the incitement law, because unfortunately Charlie Kirk was murdered. He's not here anymore.
No, on that I agree. I do draw the line personally when I believe people. It's like these idiots that keep calling us Nazis and fascists, etc. Well, what that does is that tells someone that's not right in the head that that's what we are. This is what's happened to this lad in America that's killed Charlie Kirk. He's been radicalised.
I put it in the private chat just now. And also, this has knock-on effects, doesn't it? Because, like, Tusi allegedly, this was from Lisa back at 11:31, which is our time, so 10:31 in the UK. Tusi came. Lefties have attacked Charlie Kirk's memorial now as well. Wow. It's just spreading hatred, isn't it? You know, the poor guy's gone. You know, they're continuously.
I'm sorry. Do you know what, guys? This is. I'm going to have to say this. We've got to be very careful with this, and because we've been the victims of these non-crime hate incidents and all this garbage. And what we're saying is, oh well, it's all right when they do it to us. We can prosecute. No. If someone calls me a Nazi, right? I don't like it. I find it absolutely horrendously offensive, but I don't want them prosecuted for it. Because
no, Richard, I agree with that. But what I think we're probably on the same sheet. We're just looking at it from a different kind of angle. What I'm saying is that when you look at the mainstream media and what they say about Tommy, as an example, that guy that attacked Tommy at the train station a few weeks back probably attacked Tommy because of the things that he's heard about him that are not true.
Yeah.
And I think that is wrong. And I think it's dangerous.
I agree it's wrong. And I agree it's dangerous. But my issue is there's too much legislation already. I'm not going to be part of a party. And the pledge is very explicit on its position on freedom of speech. Yeah. And I've said this, if Advance deviate from the principles of the pledge, I will call them out on it. Because at the end of the day, you know, the pledge is totally separate to Advance. And we when the pledge was written, it was written in a very specific way to protect freedom of speech, protect freedom of religion, to condemn extremism and so on and so forth. That was an ideological statement. So if anything diverges from that, I would be very, very much against it. So if Advance suddenly went down the reform road and started, you know, getting into all this sort of stuff, look what reform did with Rupert. Look what they did with Ben. They try to get Rupert put in prison. And, you know, we can't be like that. We just can't. Yeah. We've got to be, I'm with Howard on this. We've got to be absolutist on this and say, no, this is where we stand. This is a hill. This is the hill we die on. Hopefully not literally, but we've got to, you know.
No, I get the point. I get the point.
One of the problems, Richard, you know, which you're highlighting, and we are on the same page. I do believe that. The thing that gets me is that, as you know, for 15 years, I've been fighting on behalf of diesel and petrol drivers, you know, and I've had death threats. I've had all sorts of things. I've had dog shit through the letterbox, wrapped up in a cycle glove, all that sort of thing. I'm not made of money. I'm not rich man, that sort of thing. I can't take these people to court, you know, because I know who they are. You know, this is the sort I get. And, you know, you report it to the police, I just get a crime number. You know, those things. Yeah. And where it's all wrong at the moment in time, the little man can't stand up. It's like the Noel Wilcox case, you know, which he did.
Yes.
You know, he lost to a massive load of barristers and a huge amount of funding from Sadiq Khan. You know, they just walked all over him. And yet he was right. He proved he was right in court. So we're in a situation whereby when Advance UK is actually elected and is in government, we've got to sort out the judicial system so it's fair for the little man.
Yeah, the law's equal if you can afford it. Tony Ball, thank you. Can you give this to Richard? Because my wife hugged him and she was ecstatic with joy all day.
Richard, cold now by the sounds of it. His throat as well.
Silk Wolf, thank you. I could not afford to go, but I did join Advance. Thank you, mate. I want to come in on
the people at the event that were mentioning our videos, mentioning Paul and Danny, and just saying, you know, how much they love the content and love what we do. And it was like every other pace, you know, people were grabbing you saying, you know, and it was a lot of it was down to these little argumentative, bouncy, jokey, you know, live streams that we do. People love it. Yeah. And
they see you as real people. You're real. That's what you are. You're not.
Yeah, if we don't agree with each other, we thrash it out on you know, in video, you know.
Exactly.
You're not London-based elitists, you know. So take the compliment because you deserve it.
That's lovely. I mean, Danny, when we walk through Benidorm, it's amazing how many people come and say hello to us, isn't it? It's unreal. To be fair, you might as well be in London, mightn't you? To be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only times I've been recognised is in Spain from British people, from your channel, from my channel. A few people have said it. From Richard as well, and they all mention Howard. They mention everyone that comes on the channel. It's a great little community that you've got going.
Well, you know what it is about Benidorm? There's more British people in Benidorm than there is in London.
There is.
I think you're right.
Oh, you look, Danny. It's not a joke, is it?
Yeah,
That's true. That is true. I can't get homesick for the lack of English voices, that's for sure. Nick Core, thank you, Nick. As a wheelchair user, it was difficult, but stewards were great. The disabled group has been amazing. Most of us have realised it will be better to forego the march in future and head to a disabled area.
I think that's a very, very important thing. I think that, that probably is the way to go, because it's just, if we're going to get those numbers again, it's a real difficulty, and I think it does put those disabled people in danger if you're having those mass numbers, because again, if something goes wrong, if you're able-bodied and there is some sort of a crush or something like that, I think that the issue with the potential crush, and that's why people weren't kettled. The reason that roadblocks were put in was because they wanted to separate the crowds because of the potential for a crush. As far as I'm aware, that's what I think really happened. But I think the disabled thing, I think they should go straight to wherever the area is and have a disabled area on, and that means they get to the demo before everybody else and all that sort of thing. And it's not to discriminate against disabled people. It's literally for health and safety, for their well-being. Now, whether that happens or not is that'll have to be discussed, but I think that's a good idea.
Black Rifle Model Works, thank you. Yesterday, I can honestly say that when Ricky's talking about Ricky Doolan and his choir was singing, it was very powerful. I'm not religious, but something happened to me. Lovely. What a lovely comment. Shaney, did you hear the lefties singing that Charlie is in the box in relation to Charlie Kirk? That is the so-called tolerant left, vile, disgusting. Thank you, Billy. Gooner81, Howard, you legend. Where can I get that jumper?
Which one? That one or the?
Yeah, on one of that lot. Yeah. Where did you get that made, Howard?
Oh, it's just usual online sort of. I think closed to order or something they're called.
Yeah, you're gonna start a new trend there.
Yeah, don't forget the Advanced UK above it.
Brilliant. Big Bone, thank you. Big supporters of you, Paul. Bring back Britain. Thank you so much. James Bond says, we must make sure that the people know that Starmer is not the problem, but journalists are the biggest problem. I had an amazing day with my daughter. Thank you very much for that, James. And to you, Sharon. Keir Starmer's a wanker. I'm going to say it.
Yeah, Sharon, don't blit it out, mate. Paul's on it tonight, mate. Paul's on it.
Oh, listen, I've made my mind up that I'm going to go back and see what happens. And if they're going to grab me, they might as well grab me. Keir Starmer's a wanker. How about that? Tony Keeble, the mainstream media said there was 110,000, the same number of illegal immigrants in the last 4 years.
You should read that again, Paul.
Read it again.
Yeah.
The mainstream media.
The mainstream media are saying that we've had 110,000 migrants in the last 4 years. They're saying it's that's
yes, good point. Yeah. If they calculate that the way this, I get it now. Yeah. Brown Tissue, hats off to Trevor Phillips from Sky News. I played that during my interview with Ben earlier. Well worth watching. Angela, next time, all take a bottle of Benlin's with you. Yeah. Furry Slippers, thank you. Where is the sanity of using the right to freedom of speech to protest against the right to freedom of speech? Gobsmacked is an understatement.
Yep. I agree.
I think we nearly got to. Yep, thank you, DJE Media. Look at that, what a superstar!
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Good work, guys. Yeah, you too, mate. I was watching your video.
I think I met him yesterday. I think he was on the road. I think I met him on the road yesterday when we were doing the march. So,
wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. If it was you, DJ, it was brilliant. You know, good to finally meet up. So that was good.
Yeah, thank you, guys. No more supers tonight, guys. Thank you very much, because I want to try and get into the regular chat as well. Who's joined Advance UK whilst we are on the live stream tonight? Hopefully some of you have. Voodoo X-Ray says I was there. I think there was loads of first timers there, myself and my missus included. Sharon, it was mental but brilliant. Dean James says 3 million. Carol, the march was a great success. I'm so pleased for Tommy and you, Richard. You worked so hard.
Thank you.
Here.
Thank you.
And I think it's very important.
It's pretty phenomenal, isn't it? When you think like the July one was probably 100, 130, 150,000. I think October was probably more, so maybe 200,000, 180, 200,000 maybe. Yeah. Then it come down a bit in February because it was, as we all know, absolutely ice freezing cold. And then to go from the 150s, you know, to possibly 3 million people, that's some going, Rich.
And it's also
hat off where everything's due. Do you know what I mean? It's insane.
It's important to really realise that fact that it's Tommy's the only person on this planet could have done that. And that's the important thing. Nigel Farage couldn't have got that many.
No
way could he have got that many people there. No. And certainly none of the other mainstream people, you know, in terms of the Tory leader or Starmer. What is his name? He's a Starmer. Oh, he's a ways ago.
I'll tell you what. I reckon if Keir Starmer, don't go on holiday, Howard. Don't go,
especially to Spain.
You'll have to go to Newcastle in County Down, Howard. That's going to be your next holiday,
mate. Don't go on holiday. What did we make of Starmer's response? Yeah, disgraceful, absolutely vile response.
Oh. Well, he just took legal action against everyone again, didn't he? You know.
It is what it is. I've been arguing all day with idiots online. I'm going to lose my shit. Do you know what? Listen, you can't argue with idiot, right? You just got to ignore them, let them get on with their craziness, and come online and speak to the people that are like-minded. Otherwise, they just do your bloody head in. Right, guys, I suppose we better wrap it up because we've been on for an hour and 22 minutes.
My head's still thumping.
Danny, I hope you're feeling better. Have I missed anything? I always miss something.
There's one more super chat down the bottom there, mate, that you missed just behind DJE.
Have I missed one? Let's have a look. Thank you, Danny, for telling me that. I don't want to miss that. Where are we? Herding cats. What is the point in having another one? People can't afford to do that all over again. We've come together now en masse. We need momentum. And what next? Well, look, guys, that's a great way to end the show. And I'll tell you why. Because the way forward now, join Advance UK and make sure you're registered to vote and you could become a citizen, not a citizen journalist, you could become a citizen recruiter for Advance UK. Sign up your family, sign up your friends, join the family, join the political revolution, and let's get going together. That's my final message. Howard, final message from you?
I couldn't have said it any better. The important thing now is Advance UK is definitely the direction. We're on the way up, and we've got a great leader in Ben. And the most important thing is he's a leader that actually is subject to scrutiny because he set up a party that is going to be democratically holding to account. There's no other party that can do that. Look what is happening at the moment in the Labour Party about electing the deputy leader and all those sorts of things going on. It's a mess. We will have true democracy. And I urge you, please join Advance UK right now.
Danny, your final message for tonight?
Well done, each and every man, woman and child that went to that protest yesterday.
Yeah.
Despite
God bless
the
you
weather,
all, yeah.
despite the aggravation getting there probably on the tubes, despite the crowds and everything else, that's exactly what made it as amazing as it is. And let's hope that the next one can be 4 million. Let's hope.
I just want to say,
rest in peace, Ricky Hatton.
Ricky Hatton, yeah. I just want to say very quickly, a special little tribute to Richard there, who I know for a fact worked super hard yesterday. He always does. He puts so much effort in. He goes above and beyond the call of duty. And I don't think Richard gets enough credit at times for what he does behind the scenes. But I'm going to say that out loud.
Do you know what, Paul? I'm not on a pity party, but I think that's absolutely true. It's literally a thankless task, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But I'm going to go on to my own channel now. I'm going to do some stuff that I normally do on Sunday with all my people. So Counter Media, go across to Counter Media. I'm going to set it up now, and we'll maybe do half an hour or so. But no, I mean, it was a great day yesterday. Really, really good. But it is a thankless task, and that's all I'm going to say.
And people can be grateful that they are kept safe by the work of people like Richard at these events. So from me to you, Richard, and on behalf of other people, thank you very much, brother. We appreciate it, and we appreciate your hard work.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
it is appreciated. That's all you want to thank you. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and you thoroughly deserve it. Howard, thank you for coming on so much. I really appreciate it. Danny, thank you for seeing yourself through such a painful experience, because I know you're not well. We are going to end tonight in a slightly different way. We're not going to play an intro tonight. We're going to leave a picture of a British sporting legend, Ricky Hatton. Thank you for your service to sport. Thank you for your service to the country. God bless you, son, and I hope you rest in peace. Good night, everyone. God bless. Take care and look after those lovely children as always. Thank you for joining us.